When we do these graphs, we're going to rotate from vertex form to standard form just so you can see the difference in the two and how much easier it is to graph in vertex form, and hopefully that helps you develop an appreciation for problems that are presented in that. So when I see this with the parentheses and the squared outside, that I know right off the bat I'm going to go right 1 and down 3, and that's where my vertex is. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and do my counting patterns, except I need to double how high I go. So instead of going over 1, up 1, it's right 1, up 2. And then left 1, up 2. And then normally I would go right 2 and up 4, but now I have to go up 8. And then I do the same thing over here. And then normally I would go over 3 and up 9, but this time we'd have to go up 18, and we're not going to have enough room for that, so then we just go ahead and connect, and there's our parabola. Letter B, I don't know how far I should shift because it's not written in vertex form, so I'm going to actually have to compute my vertex. We're going to use that formula for H. We're going to take negative, our B value, which is 6, divided by 2 times our A value, which is 1. So my H is going to be negative 3. Now when I put negative 3 in X's spot, negative 3 squared is 9. 6 times negative 3 is a minus 18, and then a plus 10. Now when I add all that together, I should get 1, so my K value is 1. That means your vertex is at negative 3, 1. So I'm going to plot that point. I know it's going to be a smiley face because of the positive x squared. It's normal counting patterns. 1, 1, 2, 4. And then if I do 3, 9, I run out of room. Be like right here. Just run out of room. So we'll just graph those few points. All right, so again, notice the difference. You actually have to do math to find your vertex here. For this, you just eyeball it. Right 1, down 3. This, you actually have to do work. All right, now letter C is interesting because there's only 2 terms in here. You are missing what we call an x term. There's nowhere that says just x. We have x squared and we have negative 1. So when that happens, you can actually just go down 1. There will be no sideways movement. Right, and just to justify that to you, we want to remember that this is the same thing as x squared plus 0x minus 1. That's the exact same problem. You have 0x terms. If you use your formula h equals negative b over 2a, you're going to get h equals 0. And if you do 0 squared minus 1, you're still going to get minus 1. So your vertex would be at 0, negative 1. Well, we already have that. So when you don't have a middle term, you can just skip work altogether. You're just either moving up or down. And then we'll go ahead and graph the rest of our points real quick. And we do have enough room to do 3, 9 this time. Oops, this actually should be, I think, one lower. 1, 2, 3, and then right here would be 9. And then you go ahead and connect them. Letter D, we're not going to be so fortunate because we do have a middle term. So there is going to be some sideways movement. So we're going to use our formula. We're going to compute our vertex. H is equal to negative B. So you should be writing negative 12 with a negative sign out front. Negative, your B term, divided by 2 times your A term. When you simplify that, you're going to get negative 2. Then we'll go ahead and put negative 2 in X's spot. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Minus 12 times minus 2 is positive 24. And then if I do this all added together, I'll get 12 minus 21, which will get me negative 9. Oops, and that would be your K value. So your vertex is at -2, -9. Now because I have a negative in front of my x squared, it's going to be a frowny face. Because you don't have any room, you just go ahead and draw a small frowny face, put some arrows on it, and then move on. So I'm going to let you try the last two. Go ahead and pause the video, give it a shot, and then when you're ready to check your answers, just unpause. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here at E first off. We should have gone right 4 and down 8 for the vertex. Now your counting pattern is going to be half as high as normal. So instead of going over 2 and up 4, you're going over 2, up 2. And instead of going over 4, up 16, it's 4, 8. Now over here at letter F, you want to really be careful about your signs. Negative, -4, and then on the bottom 2 times -1. That is going to come out to -2. When you put -2 in here, when you do -2 squared, that becomes +4, and then you apply this negative. So this will end up being -4. -4 times -2, or -2, is a +8, and then that's how you end up getting 8 for your K. So you get 4 plus 4, and that makes 8. All right, once you do that, it's going to be a frowny face with normal counting patterns, so that shouldn't be too bad. So hopefully you can see the difference in workload between the two. I want you to start accepting the fact that when it's in standard form, we're almost annoyed by that. Like, oh, I'm going to have to do work for that. When it's in vertex form, we're like, oh, sweet, I just have to go right, left, up, or down. Really quick, really easy.